Hey, hello YouTube. I'm Karan from Bharat, and in this video, we're going to learn about how to read websites data. So here you can see that I have opened a local HTML page from which I have got some information. I want this information about the device that I'm connected to. So here I need to get the value of the current battery level of the device, and for that I am inspecting the things. So here I am adding some voice after recording my project. So here you can see that we have successfully attained the ping test, and that means we are connected. So here I'm trying to use some older codes from my older projects, as from the code of the batch store I'm trying to get some information. So let me adjust the console size. So you can see that I have downloaded the page using the wget utility, and from the same project of the batch store I have used the Ziddle for reading out the pages and its content. So here you can see that I didn't find it, so it may be in the download.bat. So yes, as you can see, I don't know the syntax of any plugin, so I often forget them. So here I am taking some reference from the older projects, and we want to read the input tag, and inside the input tag we want to read the ID. So here I am giving the plugin the information that I want. So it has extracted some information from the page that we have downloaded. So here you can see that in the tags that there is the input tag of the ID battery level, and it has the value of 66% that we want to read. So we have just changed the content as we want, command as we want. So we can get any information that we want and manipulate it and use it for our own purpose. So now it's time to put all these commands together, as we have experimented on them and they worked out. So here I am saving the project and putting all the commands together. So GeoFi battery reader, the title, here I am setting up some titles to make it nice. So you can see that we have some commands, so I'm going to write them one by one, as we often do in the batch programs. So here I am checking for the connection. So yep, I also wanted to record how much time does the project has taken. So the time is almost an hour, so just only to code. For testing purpose I have taken more time. So you can see when I have disconnected to the Wi-Fi network, it has the error level 1. So instead of writing many line of codes, I am trying to put everything in a single line. And here I have again forgot the syntax, how to use it. So just experimenting with the command, and as you can see now as I have connected, it is saying okay, and this time it hasn't said okay. So I am trying to use the trick of pipe and double ends. So when I'm connected, the command after the double end will execute, otherwise the command after the pipes will execute if I'm not connected. So here I'm using this functionality of the batch and creating a variable underscore connect and giving it some values depending on the condition, and as we have connected, so the value is true. So I had to pause the recording for many times while creating this project because I was busy in some other tasks also. So here I am creating a loop and checking the value of the connect variable. If we are connected, then only we are going to apply the commands, otherwise we are just looping through to check whether we are connected or not. So we have to check every time in the loop that we are connected or not. So I have put that code inside the loop. So when we are connected, and now I'm trying to reduce the time that the ping command will take, because the ping command will check the ping test for 4 times. So I'm setting it up to for the number of times it will check for the one. So it will only check once whether we are connected or not. So here I'm in the end I have given some timeout so that the program will not get CPU hungry. The timeout command will keep the CPU low while when the program will get executed in the background. So here I'm finding the other commands. So first we need to download the page, as we are now connected, so we need to download it. So here I again forgot the syntax, so I'm taking help from the older projects, and I want to name the file as index.html. So after downloading the file, as we are connected and we have already downloaded the file, so after that we would just want to manipulate the information inside the file. So before that we need to get the content inside the file. So for that we are going to use Zidle plugin, but as you will see later that this format of using Zidle is a little clumsy, and I'll change it later in the tutorial. So here I am enabling the DEC condition, delayed extension, so that I can change and set variables inside the for loop. So here I have got the IDs, and now I'm setting up things for the value inside the IDs. So this is not a good method if you just want to read the battery levels, but this is a universal method. For that you can use later, you can use any of the information easily. So that is why if in future I want to improve the code, so it will be easier for me to improve it. That is why I'm doing that thing in this way using the for loops. So I'm assigning IDs and values to the ID. So here what I'm doing is I'm looping through all the local IDs and getting the required values and manipulating results. So for up to the count variable, what I'm gonna do is yep, I'm a little confused, so let me pass this section. So after that I have just found if the ID is equal to, so we need to read the web ID. So if the ID is battery level, so we want to read the battery value. So here I'm creating a variable and saving the value of the battery inside this variable. So as the value will get, the percent also includes the percentage, so we don't want the percentage to interfere with our program. That's why I'm trying to remove it, but here I have created an error. So you can see that while typing I forgot things, and I think mispress of the button, and I have also forgot to use exclamation inside the for loop. So here I'm taking help from the ransomware detector, so we can send a push notification using the NIR CMD. So here I'm changing some parameters for the push notification. So here I'm printing the battery level. So later I'll change it when I'll find these errors, these bugs, changing my output. So here I'm changing the variable time, so that when the battery is below a certain threshold, so it should keep on notifying me after a shorter period of time, because I need to connect the charger. So that is why I'm making this project, because I often forget to connect the charger, and when my Wi-Fi module gets shut down, I get up from the chair and plug it in the charger. But now, as my program will notify me when the batteries battery will be below the threshold, so I can plug it in the charger. So now here I'm just writing some code for the security check if the dependencies are available or not. So here now I'm going to copy all these dependencies to one folder. So let me create a folder. Here I'm creating a folder for the project, and when you will run it, it will say that the files are not there that it needs to run. So here I'm copying the files from the older projects. Main older project I'm using here is Best Store. So now here are some bugs that I'm facing, so I'm trying to face them using the interactive mode. And you can see that almost 25 minutes are over for the code. So here I'm trying to change some things, as 30 was giving some error, so I'm removing everything using everything that has the value 30. So still it is giving me that 30 was unexpected. So here I will use the Control Z and keep everything as it was, and then I'll try to see the code. And here you can see that I have fixed that problem of using percentage inside the for loop. So here I'm trying to do some debugging using the interactive mode, the CMD. So it's a great struggle for finding and removing bugs. You can see that. And even though I have increased the speed of the recording, it still took 22 minutes of the video recording. And yeah, you can see that the commands are working fine, but here are some logical bugs. So I don't need to use the for loop here for that. For ZDL command, what I need is just, as you can see that the page is getting downloaded, but the page is getting downloaded, but the thing is that the information is not getting read. So for reading that information, what I need is, here you can see I'm trying to apply some methods that I know. So let's say, as you can see now, it's printing the values after 1 second. As in the debugging mode, I have said that I have changed the code a little. So what I am doing is that I want to find where the error is. So as you can see, the upper for loops are working fine. So here I'm going to the lower for loop. So now if it gives error, so it will clear that this for loop has some problem. So you can see that I can read all the values, and the value I want to read is getting read, but I'm not able to execute it. So there must be a syntax error in the program, because everything is working fine and we have the values inside the variables. So here I'm going to clear that debugging code that I have just put. So battery level is set, and setting the battery level. So here I'm removing that buggish line that I have pointed out earlier. So putting all the code inside the loop, and here I am trying to use the variable, but here you will also see that removing percentages inside the syntax string manipulation method is still not easy, because it is reading as it as a variable. So you can't use a caret with using percentages, because you need to use double percentage sign for it to be act like a single percentage inside the batch mode. So you will see in a while that what I am talking about. A lot of debugging and a struggle. As you can see now 36 minutes are over. It's about 10 minutes or more that I am changing the code and debugging things in the code. So here I am removing the code that make be buggish. So as you can see nothing has changed, so there must be a bug somewhere else. So here I have decided to change things. I'm dumping all the values in the database file and name it as id.txt, and all these values inside another text file naming it as values.txt, and reading those database files is easier now. But the problem is that while removing the debugging code, what I have done is I have also removed some older code that in the for loop I forgot to increase the value of count variable. So that is why it is only reading single value of the that it is reading at the last. So here I have just seen that, and I have written the incremental code. So you can see now it is reading battery level 40%. So there is a little success that we can see. So remove the debugging code, set the battery level variable, and the value should be of the id. And here what I need to do is I need to use double percentage signs for denoting the single percentage. So let me again, I'll yep, it's reading but the value is not getting read. So in the title you can see, so I'm using double percentage sign now, just trying out my luck if it will work, and it is not working. So let me as the logic will not allow me to, because the battery level is 40% currently and it is not less than 30%. So I have as you can see now that it has worked. It is working. As in the title you can see battery is 40%. So ransomware is giving some ransomware detector and the near CMD push notification are trying to come, but because of something it is not coming up. So I am using the message command. So here you can see the GeoFi battery level. For the first time it is given some simple percentages. Instead of giving some value, it is giving single percentage. So this is because we have used percentage in under the for loop. So I'll remove this bug also in the improvement phase. So here I am trying to tell you that the main benefit of this method is that you can use any value from the page and apply required commands. So this will be your universal method. Now you have all the IDs and all the values. You can do whatever you want. And now removing the debugging code, and here I'm changing the values back to what they were normally. For every minute it will check, and if the battery is below the threshold, it will check for 2 times in a minute. So from the ransomware detector project, I have taken the code for hiding the console screen in the background. So copying the dependency file, so putting all these things and organizing things, all these plugins. So here I have to write some code. So now the ransomware detector, no ransomware. So GeoFi battery level watcher is running in the background. So let me close everything and let's go into the improvement phase. So now I'm removing some ethical bugs. So okay, let me start the clock, and I have tested it and it was working fine, but here were some bugs that I have faced. So in the improvement phase I'm removing all these. So these small things may ruin your project, so I'm keeping them separate. So now running the GeoFi battery watcher, and you can see that it is now checking for the threshold. Here I am giving you some tips that don't forget to use exclamation inside the for loop. You will get unexpected values. So here I am trying to again check out, clarify things that from the local page of the device. So at the device battery level is 37%, the output is right, but the problem is that it is not giving the right output. Just because I am using percentages inside the for loop for the first time, it is not giving the right output. After that, it is providing the output. So here I am improving the code because it was keep on updating the user even though the battery levels were the same. It is informing me even after 2 times in a minute. So what I am here doing is I am telling it to, if the battery level falls or the battery level is not equal to the same battery level, for example it is 40%, so if even after a minute it is still 40%, don't notify me again. When it will get below 40%, only then notify me. And now I'm checking for the battery status also, so if the battery status is discharging, only then notify me. Otherwise just keep quiet, don't bother me about things. So otherwise, even though if you will plug in the charger and the battery is below the 40%, it will work, it will give notifications. So here you can see that we have run the program in the background. So finally the push notifications came up with a success, and that's what we've got. So I hope you like this video, and please like, please subscribe, please share this video with your friends, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.